Hey everyone, welcome back to today's video. This video, we're diving into the 2026 House elections. The big question we're tackling is, can the Democrats win the national popular vote in the upcoming midterm elections, which are just about a year and a half away? On your screen, you can see the results from the 2024 House elections. The Democratic Party secured 215 seats, gaining 2 seats overall. The Republicans, on the other hand, have 220 seats, but we don't have a clear picture of how many seats they gained or lost. This means we only see the net change, not the total gains or losses for either party. Now, the crucial question for 2026 is, how can the Democrats regain control of the House? They haven't won the national popular vote in House elections since 2020. In 2022, Republicans won by 3 points, and they did it again in 2024, this time by about 2 points. So the Democrats are in a position where they need to strategize on how to win back House control. To understand what the House map might look like if Democrats win the popular vote, we need to look at the margins from previous elections. In 2024, Democrats received about 47.2% of the votes, while Republicans got 49.8%. This means Republicans held about 50% of the seats, which aligns with their vote percentage. Democrats had 47.3% of the seats, which is almost the same as their national vote share. So, as we look ahead to 2026, we need to consider how Democrats can shift the national vote from a Republican lead of 2.6% to a Democratic lead of at least 0.1%. Based on some polling data, this doesn't seem impossible. A useful tool for analyzing how these margins might change in individual House districts is available at map.jacksonjude.com. It's fascinating to see how the map could shift from 2024 to 2026 based on these individual swings. Remember that 2.6% margin. Republicans won by that amount in 2024. If we apply a Democratic shift of 2.7%, we can see how the House map changes. So let's take a look. If we shift the map by 2.7%, the Republicans would go from 220 seats down to 212, while Democrats would rise from 215 to 223. This means that with 223 seats, the Democrats would have a majority, a national popular vote victory of just 0.1% for Democrats. They could regain control of the House. Of course, we have to keep in mind that elections don't always shift uniformly across the board. In 2024, many swing states had closer margins than surrounding states. The average swing nationwide was about 6 to 7 points, while swing states swung by roughly 3 to 4 points. Some only shifted by 1.5% or 2%. So, while we can apply these shifts, the reality can be more complex. If we consider a scenario where Democrats win the national popular vote by 0.9%, we can see even more significant changes. By adjusting the numbers, we find that Democrats could gain 2 more seats, while Republicans would lose 15 seats compared to the previous election. This is a crucial point because it reflects the current polling trends, especially as Donald Trump's approval ratings continue to decline. Let's use Trump's approval rating as a way to gauge potential shifts in the national popular vote. If we assume Democrats could reach a point similar to their 2020 performance, winning by about 3.2%, we can see how that would impact the House map. If we adjust the numbers accordingly, we find that Democrats could end up with 231 seats to the Republicans' 204. This scenario shows that the Republican Party doesn't have as strong a grip on many districts as they might think. The 2024 results weren't particularly impressive for the GOP, especially since Democrats gained seats. It reminds me of the 2018 elections when Democrats won in districts that were previously considered safe for Republicans. For example, Oklahoma's 5th district was not on anyone's radar, but Democrats managed to win it. This kind of unexpected victory can happen when Democrats perform well nationally, as they did in 2018 when they won the popular vote by about 8 points. Now, if we want to see what the House map would look like if Democrats return to their 2018 performance, we can adjust the numbers to reflect an 8-point national victory. This would create a map that is even more favorable for Democrats than it was in 2018. Historically, in 2014, Republicans had a similar margin, and in 2016, they had an identical margin to what this map would show for Democrats if they won by 8 points. The implications of this are significant. If Democrats can rally support like they did during Trump's first term, they could have a strong chance of regaining control of the House. Now, let's take a closer look at the numbers. If Democrats were to win the national popular vote by 8 points, the House map would reflect a substantial advantage for them. This is because the Republican Party has not maintained a stronghold in many districts as they once did. The 2024 results were not particularly strong for the GOP, especially considering that Democrats gained seats in that election. To illustrate this, let's think back to the 2018 elections. Democrats were able to flip several districts that were previously thought to be safe for Republicans. This included districts in places like suburban areas, where voters were increasingly leaning Democratic. The key takeaway here is that when Democrats perform well nationally, they can win in districts that might not have been competitive in previous elections. Now, let's consider the scenario where Democrats win the national popular vote by just 2%. If we adjust the map accordingly, we can see that Democrats would gain even more seats, potentially reaching a total of 231 seats compared to the Republicans' 204. This shows that even a modest shift in the national popular vote can lead to significant changes in House control. It's important to remember that the political landscape can change rapidly. Just because Democrats are well positioned now doesn't mean they will automatically win in 2026. A lot can happen in American politics, and unforeseen events can impact voter sentiment. For example, in 2022, the Republican Party faced challenges that affected their performance, and in 2024, President Biden's long-standing presence at the top of the ticket could influence the election dynamics. So, what should Democrats focus on as they prepare for the 2026 elections? The key is to inspire their base and ensure that they have a universal leftward shift across the country. They cannot afford to have any rightward shifts in any states or districts. The goal should be to do better than they did in 2024, and based on current trends, there's a good chance they will. As we look at the current political climate, we see that Trump's approval ratings are low, and there's a noticeable enthusiasm gap between Democrats and Republicans. This is particularly important in midterm elections, where turnout can be a decisive factor. If Democrats can mobilize their base effectively, they have a strong chance of winning back House control. In summary, the path to regaining House control for Democrats is not as far-fetched as it may seem. With just a slight shift in the national popular vote, less than 3 points, they could reclaim the majority. The House map is conducive to this shift, and if Democrats can rally support, they could rewrite the narrative of the second half of Donald Trump's presidency. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize that the numbers we've discussed today are not set in stone. They are projections based on current trends and historical data. The political landscape is fluid, and many factors can influence the outcome of the elections. However, the potential for a Democratic comeback is certainly there, and it's something to keep an eye on as we move closer to 2026. If you're interested in exploring these numbers further, I encourage you to check out the tool at map.jacksonjude.com. It's a great way to visualize how shifts in the national popular vote can impact House control. Thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate your support, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the Democrats' chances in the 2026 elections? Do you believe they can overcome the challenges they've faced in recent years? Let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on political analysis and election forecasts. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join our Discord server for more discussions. On the screen, you'll find a video you can watch next, along with a playlist of my 2026 House election analysis videos. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and stay informed.